So I'm here at the Mini Maker Fair with Angus from Makers Muse, which is a fantastic YouTube channel.
Thank you very much.
So Angus, what made you want to start a YouTube channel?
It's an interesting story actually. So I'm probably one of the most socially awkward people you'll meet, and in high school I was like the guy who would shiver and shake doing public speaking.
Right.
So for YouTube, initially for me, it was just a way to tell people how to do things, like tutorials.
Okay, right.
So when I was working at a 3D printing studio in Perth, I'd get asked the same question again and again. I was like, okay, I'm getting asked this question like heaps of times a week. I'll just do a video so I can just direct them to that video. Mm-hmm. And then these videos started becoming popular, and I started being asked requests for other videos.
Right.
And then like, oh, you have this machine at work, can you review it? And I started doing that. And then manufacturers started sending me printers to review.
Wow.
And it kind of became its own thing.
Yeah.
That's how it started.
So I hear you've been a nerd pretty much all your life. I heard
Pretty
that you pulled apart your parents' VCR when you were 10.
Yeah, that one got destroyed. I found a Betamax on the street as well, and I still have the solenoids from that.
Okay.
I'm a really bad hoarder. My partner's just constantly trying to make me throw out stuff.
Right.
I just have bits and pieces, and you'll use them like 2 years later, so that's why I keep them.
Yeah. I can remember I'm a bit of a pulling apart type person.
Yep.
So I can remember my brother had a drawer full of watches that I'd pulled apart.
Yeah, you wouldn't be able to put them back together.
Yeah.
That's the next challenge.
So what's the next thing for Makers Muse on your YouTube channel?
Well, at the moment, I'm pretty snowed under. So I'm to the point where I can't take any more like reviews on, I can't take any more projects on just because I don't have time.
Right.
I'm doing a video every day this month. And that even though I've got a whole schedule planned out for August, it's still not enough to cover everything. So I'm actually trying to look to get an intern. I've got a new studio space at UNSW, which is University of New South Wales.
Excellent.
So hopefully one of those bright young sparks will come along and I can just throw printers at them and be like, test this, tell me what sucks, tell me what's good.
Fantastic.
And go from there.
Fantastic. Do you do any training or workshops or sort of contracting work?
I do, yeah. So to help along with the channel as well, I do training. I do consulting work as well, so that's a really big thing with 3D printing. A lot of companies trying to get into manufacturing and 3D printing, there's a lot of misinformation and they can easily make really expensive mistakes.
Yeah.
So I do a consulting service where I can suggest what they want, which would suit what their needs are.
Right.
And that's the thing, and I do training as well, which is like 10 people, train them up from 3 hours to what's 3D printing to actually being able to 3D print.
And I understand you went over to China just recently.
Yes,
How was that?
amazing. So yeah, I was invited to China by Shining 3D. And initially, Shining 3D was the first company to ever send me something to review. So they sent me their 3D scanner, the IronScan S. It's a desktop 3D scanner, actually really quite decent. And I always thought they were just a small company. Actually, no, they're one of the biggest 3D printing companies in China. They've got metal 3D printers, they've got massive SLAs, and they invited me to come to their global partner summit.
Fantastic.
And they just said, film everything, and they let me loose in their factory.
Fantastic.
That was amazing.
Excellent. Now, with 3D printing, I know it's a case of hit and miss. What do you think the biggest issue with 3D printing is?
It's become, so with the machines maybe 3 years ago, they were probably the higher few $1,000s, and it's become a bit of a race to the bottom now.
Right.
So I'm seeing more and more machines coming out of countries, not just China, all around the world, which are cutting corners to make them a bit cheaper than the competition, but actually the longevity of that machine becomes really bad.
Right.
And I'm seeing that a lot more. So I'd like to see, consumer 3D printers shouldn't be $50. I always compare them to like an A3 scanner to people.
Right.
Like, not everyone needs an A3 size scanner. Only a few people need them for that specific use. 3D printers are a bit like that. There's not going to be a $50 consumer special 3D printer that works amazingly well. It's not. I don't see that happening anytime soon.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
And are filaments getting better or worse, or?
There's huge things happening with the makeup of filaments, so the compositions of them. Like Polymaker, for example, I visited them very shortly in China. They're working on various blends of soluble support materials that actually work. That's really exciting. Polycarbonate mixes that print well, so really high strength parts.
Okay.
Someone printed a car jack that actually lifted like 400 kilos or something.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Yeah, it's changing a lot. You don't just have ABS and PLA anymore. You have a huge
And
range.
you got timber or wood type.
Yeah, all the filled PLAs are really going crazy. Like there's now really high percentage metal filled PLAs where you just put them in a kiln and it will actually end up with a metal part because
Wow,
the PLA
that's pretty good.
goes away. Yeah,
Pretty good.
crazy.
And resolution, is resolution getting better or?
Not on FDM. It's sort of FDM has its own limits because of nozzle diameter. The smaller nozzle you go to, the longer it takes. So for FDM, we're kind of at the best we can get. Machines, if they're more rigid, they'll print better. But in terms of resolution, I think we kind of need to start jumping towards resin technologies. Like easy to use and safe SLA would be nice to see.
Excellent.
Yeah.
All right, so where can people go to find out about 3D printing and scanning?
Yeah, well, they can head to my channel if they like, which would be youtube.com/makersmuse.
Okay.
Which actually works now, which is great.
Excellent.
Yeah, I used to have like one of those really annoying, awkward, just random characters.
Yes,
So
the old issue.
Yeah. So
And you've got a website as well?
Yeah, so it's just makersmuse.com. It's a bit of a placeholder at the moment because I'm more transitioning into the media space. I used to do a lot of training, but now just the time, it's becoming more of a media company.
All right. Well, thanks very much, Angus.
Absolutely, pleasure.
And I'll see you later on today.
Yeah, see you soon.
Thanks.
Catch you later.